Hey, Benjamin Russell, founder of the Lifestyle Rebellion movement. And I get a lot of questions now because the whole entire movement surrounds a principle of a living wage. So to answer those questions, and a quick brief video explanation here, we have the world's definition of a living wage. So the world's definition is somewhat different than what we operate with in the Lifestyle Rebellion movement. The world says it's whatever amount of money given to you freely, right? You don't have to do anything for it, but you get this wage freely, enough to cover your minimum necessities for a minimum standard of living. Leave it to the government to tell us how much money we need in order to enjoy ourselves. But we're talking about a roof over your head, no matter how low quality, and a minimal amount of food and water in order to sustain life, right? So you're not malnourished. This sucks. Also, all the studies done by government agencies around the world surrounding a living wage, when they actually just give it to someone, have failed miserably. Turns out when people are given this amount of money, they just take it and don't do anything else, right? The principle is if you have this living wage, you won't have all the stress and issues that come with life, but you can create and build and grow and contribute to the economy at a higher level than if you spent all your time working at a dead-end job. But when you just give it to someone, turns out they just take it and don't do anything else with it. So why do we use this principle within Lifestyle Rebellion? Because we have a different definition and we have a different way of creating this living wage. So our living wage is whatever your standard of living is right now. So we're talking about your massive oversized house, your 3 cars, all your family vacations, your kids' ballet lessons, whatever it is. If your standard of living takes $5 grand a month, 10, 15, 20, 30 grand a month, that is your number. And then over a period of, for some months, for some years, most do it within 2 years, we create and replace that wage with a living wage. We replace whatever income you're generating with your normal activities, right? And we do this through some proprietary methods and education in order to create side hustles and your own startups with little to no money up front, because most people, again, don't have the money to do this, otherwise they would be doing it on their own. So that is our definition of a living wage. Now, why is this so important? When you have a living wage and you have control of your time again, so you're not going into the office every single day, you're not spending all your time commuting or sitting at a desk, or your limited free time you do have is spent on groceries or laundry. When you have that freedom, we're not doing this to be lazy individuals. Lazy people don't work outside of their own work to create a secondary income that can replace it. That's not a lazy personality. The people in the movement are very hardworking, are very brilliant, engaged individuals. They're typically one percenters. One percenters in personality, not income. So why do we create this? Well, when you have the money coming in naturally from your own efforts that you've achieved, you now have the freedom of time. You're taking back control of your number one asset in life, which is your time. You have this freedom of time to create and build and do whatever you want to do. Can you imagine what you could achieve if you had those 60 hours a week back that you spend working and commuting? What could you do with 60 hours a week? Could you become the next Mozart? The next Beethoven, Picasso, Steve Jobs? Could you create the next Apple or Google? Maybe. Do you know why we're still talking about these amazing people from hundreds of years ago? It's because no one's replaced them. It's because the people of the day are so busy having to try to make ends meet that they don't have the creative flexibility and opportunity to be the next Mozart, to be the next Beethoven or Shakespeare. They can't. That is what a living wage does for you. I hope you find a way to create your own. If you have trouble, check out the Lifestyle Rebellion movement. We have people doing it every single day. Enjoy.